right. If the world is correct and everything's going well, we are live once again for Johnny and the Greg. How are you,
there,
sir?
John? I'm good.
Good. Me too. I'm getting excited. Holiday seasons, it is upon us, and there is just something about a little girl's eyes lighting up for everything that's new. She's bringing the magic back. It's cool.
Yeah, that is a lot of fun, and you'll get that later on with other things, like when you the first time I took my kids on like the actual vacation, like we planned it, we flew somewhere. It was a place where everybody wanted to go, which was Universal Studios, and we walked into the Harry Potter thing, and we're all huge Harry Potter fans, and my kids were just like, "Oh my god!"
That's very immersive.
Yeah, like
you are walking into Hogwarts, like it's happening.
My one daughter started crying. It was cool.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool when somebody geeks out that much.
It was amazing.
Yeah,
actually, I mean that. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I hope Gwen finds something like that. So
yeah.
Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. If you could do us a favor real quick, because it is the holiday season, if you could like and subscribe, we got an offer for you. Greg, why don't you let them know what that is?
Well, John, we are partnered with Audible.com, where they have hundreds and thousands, maybe millions of audiobooks available to you, to anybody. They've got podcasts, they've got educational material. Now, if you want to get in on this, we can give you a month for free on us. You just go to audibletrial.com/JATG. We'll put that in a link in the description down below. You can click on that, get 30 days on us. And if you like it, go ahead and keep it. And yeah, that's what it is. Everything from horror to I say horror to horror. They've got the spicy books on there as well. Big fan of urban fantasy. Tis the season, so they got plenty of Christmas stories on there if you want to go for that route. Historical stuff. I'm a kind of big fan of history, so that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And a lot of
go ahead.
I was going to say a lot of biographies of famous people that when famous people write books, they got a ton of those read by the authors. So if you want Will Smith's new book, you can get that on there, read by Will Smith. It's kind of cool. It's like they're talking to you through
He actually has a very cool voice.
He's got a good timbre to his voice. Yeah.
Yeah. A good what?
Timbre. Like he's got
what it's called? A timbre?
Or timbre. I don't know. I said that maybe wrong. Someone can correct
me. I don't know.
But I like the sound of his voice, man.
Yes. Yeah. He just has this way of when he talks, he's like, and they do this thing for you. And you're like, really? Okay, what are they doing?
Yeah, I'm in. I don't know what it is, but I'm in.
Right.
So yeah, you can sign up on that, do a little trial on us, that audibletrial.com/JATG.
Yes. And so on the on the agenda today, we are going to talk. If you guys have noticed, I'm wearing a Spiderman shirt. I said I would wear this until I see the movie for every podcast. That is coming up this Friday, this coming Friday. So if you guys are hearing this on the audio version, it's going to happen for me and my cousin Saturday. We're going to go watch it there. So we're really excited about it. So we're going to talk a little bit about basically 3 theories that we're going to see. We're just going to give small little predictions, see if they're right, see if they're wrong. We'll see what happens.
Then we got to mention something before we get going on that line. And
go for it. On Spider-Man?
No. I know we try to limit the sports talk these days, but
hold on, time out. Oh God, you're right. I got to go get the hat. You're right.
I'll let you off the hook on this one.
I
do have to give a little cheers to the Green Bay Packers for taking out the Bears.
Yeah, if only that game would have ended at halftime, we would have been good. We would have been good. But it also shows that Chicago Bear fans, your coach doesn't know how to make an adjustment. Because they adjusted well, and it ended up like
when you rewatch the game or look at the highlights and you try to see what went wrong for the Bears, a lot of it was on the coaching staff. So
what went wrong was 1993. And
I kind of agree with you there. So
yeah,
moving on. We don't want to rub.
Moving on. We are the new Browns, people. Suck it up. Take it in.
Really, the Browns are going. I like Browns. So,
all right.
So
the agenda: Spider-Man: No Way Home. We're going to go over some theories. Then we're going to hit a topic thunder, and then we're going to talk about a new adventure that I partook. I blew Greg away. I'm annoying him now, and it is what it is. So we'll go into that. So that's on the agenda today. So let's start with Spider-Man No Way Home theories. I have 3 theories that I think pretty much everybody, at least everybody wants to know. Number 1, who's going to die, Greg?
Oh,
what do you think?
Somebody's
dying.
I just, yeah, I got a gut feeling. One, I got a gut feeling Happy Hogan is going to buy it.
Okay.
Jon Favreau. And more so because not that the character deserves to die, because I love the character. I think he's great.
Right.
And I think there's more that they can do with him, just in that supporting role.
Right.
But Jon Favreau is a busy
very
guy.
busy man.
He would, I think, really like to take over the Star Wars cinematic universe.
And we would love him to do that, John.
We really would.
We're okay if you die, because we get it. We get where you're going.
Yeah.
You're going off to like Valhalla.
Yeah. Yep. I would love to see what he would do in like a trilogy of Star Wars films. That would be a lot of fun.
I agree.
So if he wasn't contractually obligated to be Happy Hogan anymore, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Me too. I don't think it's going to be him, though.
You don't think so? Who do you think?
I think it's Aunt May.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I mean,
I think it's Aunt May. It has to. Here's the thing that I've noticed with the first 2 Spider-Man movies, which is my only problem with the Homecoming series, or the Home series, I guess it's called. Peter hasn't really had that tragedy yet.
Not on screen. I mean, we know Uncle Ben died. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was, they've alluded to it.
Have they? Okay, because I can't remember.
In the first film, Peter's talking to Ned. He's like, since everything happened, and like kind of alluded to that. Yes, Ben passed away. Now they've never mentioned him or anything like that, but but since then,
Tony, but
like in the comics, like May has died in the comics, and it was
everybody's died.
Yes, that's true. But it was
like with Peter has the comic books do a great way of making it seem like, oh, maybe I don't want to be like Peter Parker. Like this dude has to like wash his own suit. This dude has to like sew his own suit.
When you go back and take a look at Into the Spider-Verse, I can't remember who says that. I think it's Spider-Gwen.
Not the movie, the comic book people we're talking about.
No, I'm talking about the movie Into the Spider-Verse.
You're talking about the movie.
Which is canon in the MCU.
Okay.
As a multiverse Spider-Man. They talk about every Spider-Man has to face that tragedy.
Yep.
And for Miles Morales, it was his uncle. And we haven't seen this Peter Parker have that tragedy. Now we know he's had it because Ben's not around, but we haven't seen it. We haven't felt it.
That's why I think it's coming. And I think it's not going to be MJ. I think it's definitely going to be, it's either Aunt May or Happy Hogan. But I want anybody that's listening right now, give us your comments. What do you think? You think not Uncle Ben? You think Aunt May's, the prettiest Aunt May of all time, or the hottest Aunt May of all time, is going to bite it? Do you think it's Happy Hogan? Do you think it's MJ? Do you think it's Ned? Let us know. It could.
You think it's all of them?
Yeah, it could be. You don't know. I don't think so, but that's my theory, is that Aunt May is going to bite it. And I think that's that scene where in the trailer where Peter's reaching out for that bomb,
the hand or the bomb. Okay,
the bomb, and I think that's it.
Okay. Okay.
The second question I have is basically, or I think everybody has this, is are there going to be more Spider-Men in there? Is Toby going to be there? Is Andrew going to be there? Is anybody else? Are we going to see a Spider-Gwen in a glimpse? Are we going to see, what are we going to see? There is a rumor that Hugh Jackman was supposed to appear in this movie, but what happened was they couldn't get his Wolverine suit. Yeah,
they couldn't get it.
Yeah, he came to New York ready to film it, but they could not get the suit, so they didn't film it, which sounds really stupid. But I don't think they would allow something like that to happen.
They couldn't get a jean jacket, a flannel, and a pair of jeans, or the big Indian belt buckle, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe his claws were gone. I don't know.
I guess he did wear a suit-ish in the.
But maybe that was tying to the Statue of Liberty that we talked about a while ago.
Maybe. I still think that's a pretty good possibility, because when I saw him getting his COVID booster, and you saw that he's still pretty ripped. Yeah, like he's cut. And
what
you're
is
like,
it with Australian actors all ripped? I have a theory about
Maybe
Australian actors are rugged and ripped. British actors, I believe, are the goats of acting. They even make American accents sound better than we actually talk.
Okay.
I think so.
Well,
And Americans, hey guys, we're spoiled little rich kids, basically. What do you got? Where you got?
my cousin Clay says maybe it's the brown suit he got at the end of Wolverine. When he opened the case and there was the suit in there. Maybe. I mean, that's what I was thinking.
That's not a bad one. That's not a bad one.
It could be. It could be. But I think if you have Hugh Jackman, even just his face. I mean, because that's the most recognizable thing about Wolverine is his face.
Well, they had a cameo in that X-Men movie when they went up to ask him if he wanted to join. And he was like, "Fuck off."
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yep. And they're like, okay.
Yeah. So I do think Andrew and Toby are going to be in it. I think they're going to be in it more than we think they're going to be in it. I'm just getting this idea that I think there's going to be more Spider-Man. And maybe it's glimpses we see. Maybe we see just glimpses as that fabric of time is ripping
apart. It could be. I like 2099's Miguel O'Hara. I think he would be cool. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we saw Nicolas Cage in a black trench coat. And
wouldn't that be fun?
That would be fun. I think that would be fun.
I think the internet might break.
Yeah. But like all those ones from Into the Spider-Verse, it's possible.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? I mean, like, do you think Andrew and Toby are there? You think that's happening?
Oh, I think so. I mean, as much as I have been like, oh, I don't know. I mean, let's see. I do think that they're going to be in there. I think to the extent of like a last battle, or even if it's like a mid movie battle, but then they're gone again. Like they show up and then the fabric of time restructures or Strange does something and then they're gone again. Yeah. But if they have like prolonged scenes with lines and like are an actual bigger part of the film, I will be shocked because that will be the best kept secret. To the point.
You think that's a kept secret?
To the point of how much they are in it.
Okay.
Like not they were in it, but to how much they
were in it. Yeah. If they get it to where they are in it for half the movie. Bravo.
Exactly. Where they're interacting and if they have more than one page of lines, I will be shocked.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the smart money is on there in about 15 minutes of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that's what I'm feeling. And that'd be fine. I mean, now it's almost expected. So as I mentioned a couple of shows ago, if they're not in it, that will be shocking.
Yes, it'll be shocking. And I was thinking about that now. I'll be pissed.
Yeah, I think a lot of people.
Yeah,
a lot of people were
beautiful
really
opportunity,
pissed.
And you're gonna throw it away. That's if it happens, guys. We don't know yet. We will definitely talk about this. Probably, literally walking out of the theater. We'll probably go live for like a short moment and just say,
do our old little knee-jerk reaction on and stuff. I mean the other, I did not watch the video that you sent me today about the Power Stone effect. I didn't get a chance to, but
he breaks it down into a scientific form, which actually, this is a total side note. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. That's something that always interested me. They got some top end physics guy to break down how everything could work in the Marvel universe in this universe. So it's all science-based. Like even Doctor Strange, it comes from some sort of numerology of talking and pulling energy that you can actually, theoretically, I guess it's all possible, but they go into it.
I guess some of my theories are, I think we kind of see this in the previews, a Doctor Strange Spider-Man throwdown. If that's our Doctor Strange or a different one, I don't know. Interested to see that.
I think it's Doc. It's our Doc.
I think Doc Ock is going to be a good guy overall.
Okay.
Something happens. I think something happens to his arms where he gets like Stark Tech in him or something like that, and so he can have more control over them.
That's a smart move. I agree.
So I don't know. I've been trying to keep myself pretty fresh of like not watching a lot of stuff. I don't want to get spoiled on a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Someone's going to die. I think at the end of the film, it's going to be where no one remembers who Peter Parker is.
That was my next point. Something big is going to have to change.
Yep.
And I think you're right. I think the spell actually worked. I think Peter has this conscience where he realizes it's better if nobody knows.
Yep. And I think
And
that's going to be the case. So once
yeah,
everybody gets either brought into our universe and stays there, or they go back to their own,
right.
whatever it is, Peter's going to be at like square one again.
Yeah.
In terms of
Nobody knows.
Yeah. Maybe even down to like the suits. Like we're going to take that away. Like he'll still have his basic one that he had in Homecoming.
Right.
That Stark gave him right away. But I think Iron Spider is going to be gone.
Me too.
I think whatever other suit he gets,
almost back to basics, right?
Yeah, it's and that'll be
the start of his college, his next trilogy.
Yeah,
I totally agree with you. I think that's where it's going to hit people the worst. I think people are going to be shocked. I think it's going to hurt people that Aunt May goes. That's just my theory. Whoever dies, it's going to hit us a little bit. But what's really going to hit us is how lonely Peter's going to be at the end of all this, because if Doctor Strange, I think in the beginning he messes it up,
but it
Peter
works,
messes it up,
but it works,
right? No. I think at the end he does it again, and that's the one that wipes it out. And Peter has to make a choice: do I want the world to know I'm Spider-Man, or I think he's going to come to a realization after all of this that, you know what, dude, it's better if even MJ doesn't know, if Ned doesn't know,
nobody knows.
Happy doesn't know, if Doctor Strange doesn't, nobody knows.
He's out of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's out of the Avengers. Everything gone.
Right.
And I think that's probably going to be, because it's called No Way Home.
Right.
And so like his home is going away. Like he's not, like in the beginning of the movie, it's gone because everybody knows who he is. And then in the end, nobody knows who he is. And it's back to hiding the suit in the closet. Yeah.
Yep. Square one.
And running around.
And I think what's going to be tragic about that is maybe the spell works to a point where Ned doesn't know him. MJ doesn't know him anymore.
Oh, doesn't know him at all?
Doesn't know him at all. And he realizes this is better this way. It's better this way. So he's going to walk away realizing, because I think MJ is going to be saved, that she's falling off, but that's going to shake him up so much. And with losing somebody, and then the people he has left, he's going to go like, it's not safe if they know me. It's not. Who do we got? Anybody talking on the? Yeah,
Cousin Clay wants to know how we think Venom will play in, or will he be based off the end of Venom? I think Venom's going to show up, like in the film proper.
The symbiote.
The Venom, like
Eddie?
Tom Hardy. Yeah,
I think that's a post-credit scene.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. I'm just thinking post-credit.
I could see him like, coming in post-credit. I can also see Venom, because what we don't have in the Venom films yet has been that love affair with Spider-Man.
Yes.
I mean, the reason Venom had the big, white, like you on the chest, and then also web slinging, was because the symbiote had this like
love affair.
This love affair, this infatuation with Spider-Man.
Right.
And I think we're going to start to see that develop in this film, either the film proper or the post-credit scene, where he'll swing in, possibly using the black goo as a web slinger kind of thing, or a web shooter. So
interesting. Okay.
We'll see. And I mean, Venom, like the Venom that I knew growing up, he was a bad guy. He was the worst. I mean, next to Green Goblin, he was the worst enemy that Spider-Man had.
Yeah.
And I would like to see them go that route.
Me too. I think it's going to be a post-credit scene. I'm going to throw a question at you, because this is something I thought. Are they going to somehow, does Eddie, let's say Doctor Strange, it seems like at the end there's this big ring that just expands out from the Statue of Liberty. Maybe it goes across the world, those magic rings that he does.
Mm-hmm.
Would that possibly, or when they reconnect the universe so it's not so shattered, is there a way that the symbiote stays and Eddie leaves?
Possibly.
Like he gets transferred back to wherever he was supposed to be at. The symbiote stays. And so now you can get the next 3 movies with, I guess, Venom or something like that. But yeah, I think that's how it's going to work. I think the movie's actually going to end, not post-credit scenes, but the movie's actually going to end with Peter walking away like he's gonna have some sort of like thing with MJ where she doesn't recognize him, and he's gonna feel sad about it and walk away, and that's how it's gonna end. It just reminds me of that Tobey Maguire where he told MJ in the beginning that I don't love you. And
Right.
He really did, but he couldn't put her in danger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Tough choice, man.
Yeah.
But that's what he needs. That's what this Spider-Man needs. He needs that tragedy. He needs that.
I was
gotta make a hard choice.
Yeah. I was listening to some podcasters the other day, and they made a good point where this Spider-Man, the Tom Holland Spider-Man, really hasn't been the star of his own movie.
Right.
Yet.
He's always been the supporting cast.
I mean, it's always been like things are happening to him and not like he was actively trying to do something. I mean, even in the first film where he was trying to stop Michael Keaton's Vulture, but it would still seem like it was other people taking the lead on that. It was Iron Man, it was Happy, or it was more just like the Vulture was doing things and then Peter happened to be there.
Except at the end of that. At the end of that, he made that choice.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
I mean, that was part of his growth and development. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
But I still feel like he's had
an easy road.
He's been very reactive in his films.
Okay.
Like whereas him, even though he's trying to be proactive, it hasn't really been working out that way.
Yeah.
And I think this is where we see him be a little bit proactive, but then it screws up. And so now what do you do? Yeah. And so the next films, whatever they look like, are going to have to be a different type of Peter Parker than we.
Well, they say it's Peter in college, so he's going to learn how to really be a man. I mean, if I kind of felt like I learned to be a man in college and in my 20s, and I really understood what a man was when I had my kid.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know. Let us know what are there any questions like the good one about Venom? You know, I'm not a big Venom fan, but I understand how everybody is. That makes sense. Yeah. And I agree with you. I like Venom as a bad guy to Spider-Man.
Yep. When Todd McFarlane created Venom, he wanted to make the anti-Spider-Man. Yeah. And I think that worked. And then when all of a sudden he started to be well liked and they wanted to make a hero out of him. And I went, Yeah. And then we go down crazy town with all the other symbiotes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So again, please let us know what you think. And like I said, hang out up. We're either going to go live on Instagram or Facebook. I don't know which one we're going to go live on, but we're going to do some fun stuff to go to the theater, get excited about this. And then we're going to give you our knee-jerk reaction. So stay tuned for that. This Saturday coming up. Moving on to Topic Thunder. Yeah. This is a cool question I heard on a radio station, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it, and I wanted to get our listeners' thoughts on it because this is a fun one. Who is on the Mount Rushmore of the coolest TV characters of all time? Right? Cool. Okay. Yep. Not like I don't think Walter White is this. That's why I'm trying to he's not cool. He was an awesome bad guy, but he's not cool. Like when I think of cool, to me, the number one guy on my list is Arthur Fonzarelli. That's pretty cool. It's the Fonz. It's the guy that walks into the room. He doesn't need a quarter to play the jukebox. He just has to go boom and go, hey. Yep. He just needs to kick it. Yeah. He just needs to kick it. Okay. So that's number one for me. I'll let you go. What do you think? Well, trying to think. Should we break the parameters to this? Because it can't be Sherlock Holmes. That's a literary character that went on to TV. So it has to be TV created. Yeah, I would say that like someone who premiered on TV and that's where they go. Kind of along the same lines as the Fonz. Now it almost to a joking standpoint now. But kind of my 80s guy is probably going to be I'm so torn between this one. I'm torn between Magnum PI. Yep, I would agree with that. He's on mine. Yep. Or Hasselhoff, Michael Knight. Michael Knight, yeah, he's on mine as well. Remember, Rushmore is 4, right? 4 faces. Yeah.
Okay.
But then you're kind of stuck in the, I mean, we got to almost do like a generation kind of thing. Cause at the same time, I mean, that's like action stuff. I mean, you've got other cool characters. Like you had Sam from Cheers, you know,
Yeah.
he was pretty
He's
fucking
not.
cool.
He doesn't eclipse Michael Knight.
Well, in a reality based kind of show, though, he kind of does. Because Sam was pretty damn cool.
I didn't think so. but
Well,
I mean, that's your. I mean, I liked him. I liked the character. I didn't think he was cool.
All right.
But that was mentioned in the radio show, Sam from Cheers.
Yeah.
Michael Knight, the Arthur Fonzarelli. Am I sounding choppy?
No.
Okay.
No.
Anybody saying we're sounding choppy?
No. I've noticed on the Facebook that every once in a while it'd be like your video and then it'll go away. But
okay, yeah. I get a lag from you, but it's not that bad. I still hear you clearly. I just get a lag visual wise. Anyway. Arthur Fonzarelli. Okay, so in the 90s, who was Buffy was cool.
Buffy was cool. See, that's what I was going to bring up, that we can't be gender specific.
Right. Yeah.
You gotta.
Well, we can. It's our podcast. We can do whatever we want. But I agree with you.
I think it does us well to include. Because I mean, Buffy was pretty damn cool.
Buffy was pretty cool. Who else was cool? Dawson Creek. Dawson was a whiner. Pacey was cool. Pacey was cool,
but at the same time, like the first season where he's like
sleeping with the teacher.
Yeah, and you're just
fuck
like,
yeah, Pacey, way to go.
Do we support this?
I supported that. I supported that completely.
That kind of that same time, like
help us out, people. If people are listening, who are the coolest TV characters you've ever?
To me,
like, do you give the Lone Ranger any credit? Was he a comic book guy before he was a?
He was.
Okay,
he was a literary guy.
He doesn't.
But to me, like Malcolm Reynolds, Firefly, Nathan Fillion.
Oh, okay.
He's pretty cool.
What about Bruce Willis in Moonlighting? That character.
Oh yeah, he was
He
cool.
launched Bruce. That character launched Bruce Willis.
Yes, I mean
it even gave him a shot at Die Hard, and then he blew it away at Die Hard, and that was it.
That's when he became an action star. Was in Die Hard. For everybody, everything before that, he was a musical comedian because he had Bruno, which was a band that he was in.
Right. What was his name in Moonlighting? David. Was it David?
Dave, I think I gotta look that up. Marshall says Richard Castle from Castle. Another Nathan Fillion.
Okay, so is it really the character or is it Nathan?
No, I think the character itself. The character itself was pretty dang cool. Now, I have a hard time seeing anybody else in that role.
Of Nathan Castle or the guy from Firefly?
Of Castle.
Or his character. Okay.
From Castle, I have a hard time seeing anybody else but Nathan Fillion in that.
How's his show, The Rookie? Anybody watch that?
Pretty good. I mean, I don't watch it religiously, but from when we did like the first couple seasons, like it's the night we want to watch it. And then we really got off of the slave to the TV schedule. So we'll that's like a summer show for us when there's not a lot of other stuff on.
I see.
Okay. We'll get through a season of The Rookie.
Hey, what about Tully Savalas? Remember him?
Tully was pretty good. Yeah. But what was he on?
I think he was Kojak.
He was Kojak. You are correct. David Attenson Jr. was Bruce Willis's name in Moonlighting.
David Addison Jr. That's
David
right. Addison. Yeah, Addison and something was the detective agency.
Madison and Hayes.
Yeah.
It's a good show. Who else was I thinking was cool? Barney Stinson.
I can't think of
his.
Yes.
Neil Patrick Harris. From How I Met Your
Mother.
He was
fantastic.
He was hilarious.
He was, wait for it, legendary.
Yes. Just that was great.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, that's a quote literally from him on that show. Who else was cool? Remember Parker Lewis, Can't Lose?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He was pretty cool.
Parker Lewis.
I think our Mount Rushmore's turning into
I think Arthur Fonzarelli is definitely up there. Okay. I think Buffy has to go up there. right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think Buffy, along the same lines, what's her name? From Alias.
Ooh.
Oh, what was
Sydney
her name?
Bristow.
Sydney Bristow. Yeah, Sydney Bristow.
I actually thought her dad was cooler than she was. Abe.
Yeah.
What was his name? What's his real name? It's a cool name.
Was Victor Garber played her dad.
Victor Garber. That's it. Garber.
Yeah. Yeah.
Garber.
He's
Garber. Yeah, that was cool.
You know what I'm actually, and this has hit me because my mom has commented now that our podcast is always on when the rookie is on. Sorry, Mom, there's only so many hours in the day. You're retired. Watch it when you Venmo it, or whatever, when you DVR it. I don't think any of like the CSI, NCIS, like those cop detective shows, like those very formulaic, none of those guys come to my head.
You're saying
I think about cool.
You're saying the guy that would sit there and have the puns when he'd pull off, looks like someone forgot their. I think it was David Caruso. Was that David Caruso?
Yeah, David Caruso. Yeah. Ice-T and
I would love it if somebody would have sat there and went, really? This guy's dead here and you're making like a pun? Like, what are you doing?
Are you sure you want to do that right
now? Is Dexter cool? Oh, Tyrion Lannister. Cool.
See, I stayed away from him because he originated in a book. He was literary.
Oh, he's literary. Okay. Anya Stark was cool too.
Yes, but
yeah, they're literary. They're literary. You're right.
And I never got into Dexter. Like that to me, that was cheering for that. That's why I don't. I mean, some people would say James Gandolfini's character in The Sopranos
is cool.
Tony Soprano. Yeah, they think he's really cool. I'm like,
no, he's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you're right. Because Dexter's a really bad guy.
Yeah.
Are you a bad guy if you're killing a bad guy? Yeah, you're a bad guy.
Well, there's the great, I think it was the Batman quote.
Yes.
I think where if you murder a murderer, then the number of murderers in the world stays the same.
Yes.
And then the Punisher's response is, that's only if you stop at one.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Other cool I mean, the guy that flew Airwolf, I don't even know his name. See, that's like
would you remember Automan?
I do remember Automan.
Shit, you remember that?
I do.
Yes. Oh, I got it. What's the guy? Not Automan. It was the same time. Greatest American Hero. He wasn't cool.
He wasn't cool.
Damn it. He wasn't cool.
He was a nerd.
Goofy. Yeah, he was goofy. Yeah.
I've heard Gibbs is cool. He's current day cool. And no, he's not.
Who?
Gibbs from, I don't even know what show.
NCIS?
NCIS, probably.
Okay. Who said that?
Who do you think?
Your mom.
It's my mom.
Sorry, Mrs. Truly. That's not cool.
Yep. Nope.
No, that's not cool.
The Fonz would kick his ass.
Well, I like him, guys, but sorry, it's not cool.
You're gonna get shit on Saturday because she's gonna be there.
Is she gonna be there? It'll be fun to see. Is your dad gonna be there? I want to take a picture with him.
I think so. Stop it.
Sorry.
Let's see.
You guys have plenty of time to make fun of me. I'm gonna dye my hair black.
You are not.
For Doctor Strange.
You're gonna actually dye. You don't have to dye your hair.
Yeah.
Although one of my daughters asked me today because you posted a picture if you actually dyed your beard to look like. No. I'm like, no, it just does that. She's like, are you sure it looks like? I'm like,
this is the only part that is genuine. Actually, all of it's genuine. I don't dye anything.
Yeah. No.
Can you imagine me? Greg can attest to this. I'm not gonna sit in the mirror and dye my hair. Is that what you do?
Start brushing it through. I think it comes with like a little comb or a brush, and you gotta like paint it all on.
Paint it on, and isn't it like gradually?
I don't know.
Or is it like stark like right away?
Oh no, I think like right away. Like if you did black, it's black. Like it is.
I dyed my hair on Halloween for Doctor Strange.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I spray painted it all
Oh,
black.
like a little temporary kind of thing.
Yeah, that temporary stuff. Yeah. I'm not going full. I'm not going to dye my hair. I'm just.
I thought that's what you were talking about. I'm
No,
like,
no. I guess. Yeah, I said dye my hair. I'm going to get the hair color you spray on your head for Doctor Strange.
I know one guy. I mean, he's got a full beard, like it's down to here.
Yeah,
and it was totally white. And then I saw him. So I saw him when it was totally white at bachelor party, and this guy's a couple years younger than me. Totally white beard, and then I didn't see him for, I'm gonna say, 5 years. And I saw him it was actually at a funeral, and it's still the same length, and it's totally brown. And I went, "Did you dye your beard?" He's like, "Don't beard shame me." I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna."
Yeah.
So anyway, cool characters.
Cool characters.
Are we out?
That are not Gibbs.
How about Joey Tribbiani? You think he makes it to the cool character wall?
In the 90s, yes. Now, if you look at his character, you're like, dude, how that dude not get sued? Like, how did he not
Very
be
much
taken
so.
to court?
Yep. Cousin Clay says Andy Griffith was very cool for the time, and I'm going to agree for that.
Okay.
For that
I'm
era.
going to disagree with both of you. But what's funny is that was mentioned in the radio show I was in. Somebody said, Andy
really?
Griffith, and I went, Andy Griffith.
I'm going to tell you right now.
My dad adored that show.
I'll tell you right now.
Still does.
My grandfather. I thought Andy Griffith was my grandfather. Like they based the whole Andy Taylor character off my grandfather, because that's what I saw. And I also saw my grandfather sucker punch a horse. So
you saw your dad sucker like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Conan?
My grandfather. Yes.
In Arnold Schwarzenegger and Conan, like in Conan.
Or in Blazing Saddles when the dude punches the horse. Yeah, I saw my grandfather do that. We were okay. This is totally a sidetrack in here, but my uncle, who I think you've met, or maybe you haven't met, but you've interacted online with my uncle.
I've interacted with him.
Yes,
love you, sir. Love you.
Not going to go into that, but
so
we had to go out. I was in high school, and my grandfather, who had since retired from the police force, came over to my house, and his grandpa just drives up. He's like, comes into the house, sees me sitting on the couch. What are you doing? Nothing. He's
watching
like,
Knight Rider.
He's like, yeah. He's like, get your shoes on. You're coming with me. And I'm like, okay. So we go out to my uncle's farm, little farmette. He's got like, I think 3 or 4 horses at this point. He's like, we just got to take care of the horses, fill up the water bin, throw some hay out, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, okay. And one of the horses had some kind of sore, like on his joint, which would be like an elbow, but it's the joint of a horse. I don't know what you call it. And the horse's leg, knee joint, front leg. There was a sore, and Grandpa had to put some stuff on there.
That would be the knee joint.
So yes, okay, it's the knee. So we lead the horse up. Grandpa ties him up. Horse's name was Buck, big gray thing.
Buck bit him, didn't it?
Nope. So
okay,
Grandpa puts the stuff on, and Grandpa's like done touching the horse. And Buck just starts to and then the rope comes undone, and he kind of rears up a little bit. And my grandpa uses a cane at this point for an injury he got in the line of duty. And one leg it just buckles on him, and he falls over. And I'm like I'm maybe 20, 30 yards away. And I see this, and I'm like, Gramps. So I run over there. I start to try to help my grandpa up. And he immediately slaps my hand and goes, "Get off of me." And I'm like, okay. Because Grandpa, he's a very gentle guy because he's freaking Andy Taylor, right? And he grabs the horse by the reins, pulls him down, and goes, "What?" And just does a huge freaking hook punch right at this horse's jaw. Just boom. And the horse kind of starts to buck again, and then he runs away. And then he just run away. Grandpa goes, "Fuck you." And I'm like,
wow, you just saw animal abuse at its finest.
But this horse freaking deserved it. So
that's interesting because Farrah owns horses. I wonder how she thought about that, because there are times like she's talking to the horse, and Farrah, I don't know if she's a horse whisperer or not, but she has a connection with these things, and so she'll always she's like, quit being crabby.
Oh yeah, I've seen people talk to horses, and Grandpa actually is really good with animals, but this one just pissed him off.
Yeah.
And so he full on punched this horse.
Wow,
it was great. Wow.
Wow.
I don't know if Cousin Clay ever heard that story before, but it was great.
um. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool
Characters.
characters. Are
Oh,
we
I
out?
had him. Hawkeye from MASH.
Hawkeye, yeah.
Think
Yeah.
about it. Womanizer, surgeon, saved lives, cracked jokes.
From that point, Colonel Potter. I like Colonel Potter.
Which Potter?
He was the old general of the old
Potter.
captain.
I liked him, but he wasn't cool, man.
He wasn't, but
no,
he didn't.
No,
but I liked
Potter's right up there with Gibbs. Good man.
Good man.
He's a good man.
Good man, but not cool.
But you're not cool. I think we've hit it. We haven't hit it. I'm sure. Hey, do you have a separate screen where you can actually put up what anybody says? I'm sure this has been a list that has been compiled of the 25 greatest.
What about like George Clooney? What about his ER days? Wasn't he exuding cool at the time?
Actually, he was. Oh, you know who was too? McDreamy.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
He was cool. I used to watch that show, Grey's Anatomy, for like the first 5 seasons. I think that show's still on for crying out loud.
It is still on. And I stopped watching it because they had one season where all they did is killed children. And I was like, I'm done.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
The last time I remember they killed off George, and I was kind of like done after that. I was like,
it was a couple of seasons after that, but it was, there was one. It was the same guy who played Foggy Nelson in Daredevil series, that actor.
Okay.
Who just killed it as this dad. Like his daughter.
I remember they had to put him down.
He's hospital hopping to try to save his daughter who's got this super rare disease. And in the end, like she's dying. And because they're like, there's nothing else we could do. Yeah. She wants to go. He's on the phone with like an airline to get him to Mexico. And they're like, dude, this is happening. Like you need to just hang up the phone and be with your daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm like 20 something. I don't even know if I had kids yet, or if I did, I had one.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, fuck this show. We are never watching this again. And I'm just losing it. And Chris is like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. This is dumb. We're not watching.
That was a gut-wrenching hard episode because he had to spend like what he was trying to avoid were the last moments with his daughter. And she was like, just talk to her.
We need to stop talking about this.
You're right. I'm getting there too. Okay, you know what? You remember Grey's Anatomy? It's kind of my favorite episode, but it's one I always remember where Meredith like decided to inside of a guy's body hold on to a live ammunition round or something like that.
Oh, wasn't it a grenade?
Yeah, it was something from World War II.
Right.
And then they finally take it out and the guy's walking down the hallway and boom, and it explodes. I remember that. I was like, whoa, what? This is a great show.
So going back to cool, couple ladies.
Yeah, we gotta name some ladies. We got
well,
Buffy.
I mean, we did
Ally McBeal.
She was cool at the time.
I never wanted to be like her. Everybody loved her.
People wanted to be like her. Same with the Sex and the City girls, but I don't want to go there. Fresh Prince from Bel-Air, Will Smith. He was cool.
Will was cool.
Mary Tyler Moore, kind of groundbreaking.
Was she?
Women in the workplace kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Remember WKRP in Cincinnati?
Yeah, but I don't remember anybody's name.
You don't remember Venus Flytrap?
No, I don't remember anybody.
I think that was his name.
I don't think we watched it. We didn't watch
the black guy. He was a black guy.
What Don Draper?
Is he cool? Is he cool?
He did, but he was an ass.
Right.
Oh, see. Now here's one. I thought he was really cool. I don't know if he's actually in the books because I never read him. Lafayette Reynolds from True Blood. The gay chef from True Blood.
Oh, Lafayette.
He was cool. Like yeah. I mean, his delivery, the way he played him, that actor.
I thought the other guy was
passed
cooler.
away, but
he's literally.
I think they are. I think
literally. God, I can't say the word now. That's fine. I'm having a glass of wine.
I was gonna say, you drinking? Because I am.
Fine. Yeah, those guys don't count. I know, like because then we could go into every literary character or fictional character.
That we'd be nonstop.
Yeah, it'd be over. So we have to stick with TV. It didn't. That's not it.
No, Mom,
That's
we're not
not
confusing cool and sexy. It's cool. Now here's a show I've never watched. Country Mac and Always Sunny. Like,
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
yeah,
Mac.
Mac's not, I don't know.
Cool.
Mac's not cool.
They're all degenerates. None of them are cool.
Cousin
Who
Clay
said that?
Mac or Cousin Clay said that.
Clay, come on. They're degenerates. They're not cool. They made a priest turn into a meth addict. Like, they're not cool.
Oh my. What about the Bewitched? The main character. What's her name?
Susan. Samantha. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I just knew the character. Is that Herman Munster?
See, and that's what I'm like. No, I don't think so. But like this list I'm looking at now, it's
the
from
family.
Insider.
The
They've got
Adams
Sheldon Cooper
family
in there.
was cool.
Yeah,
Adams family. Oh, the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh yeah, they were pretty cool.
Yeah, Chips, Pancho.
Yep. You mentioned Dukes of Hazzard. I still apologies to cousin Jenny, who I got into a fight with one time, and I went, "I'm going to beat all Dukes of Hazzard on her," and I went, "Boom!" And I went, "Oh, bad idea."
Wait, you hit a girl?
I did, but I was like 4.
What? Oh, you were 4.
Yeah, it was. We were
Oh.
little. I mean, Dukes of
No.
Hazzard was on.
You don't
We were
understand that
little.
when you're 4. Anyway.
No. But it was the first time I went, it didn't make that sound. It didn't
Speaking
make
of not
the
understanding
sound.
stuff when you're young, what age do they figure out that they can't jump on you without it hurting? I'm talking about my little girl will run from
I'm gonna say
whatever
4 or
area
5.
she's at and jump on me, and I go,
Yeah.
"Oh!"
Yeah, it's around 4 or 5.
Okay, 4 or 5. They figured out. All right.
When they full on just devastate your nuts and
Dude, I am getting my ass kicked left and right, literally weekly by that little girl.
Yeah, that's when it.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was Lex or Kate. Literally jumped off the couch and landed.
Yes, that's what she
Right, I
does.
was
Like suplexing, like
Yep.
off the high ropes.
Yep, that was.
Boom. Laughing, giggling.
Oh, Daryl Dixon from Walking Dead.
Ooh, comic book.
He wasn't in the comic book.
Ooh, Daryl's
Daryl-
pretty good. Or that would be
Daryl-
Ursula's vote.
Yeah,
That would definitely be Ursula's vote. That's the one time I was afraid at Comic-Con. I'm like, shit, she's gonna leave me for Daryl Dixon.
Oh, Omar Little in The Wire. Was he cool?
Everybody said that. I've never watched The Wire,
I mean, neither. But
so I will say sure. I haven't
Rosa in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, she's pretty cool.
That's such a great show.
I don't watch it enough.
I don't exactly. I don't either, but I know who she's talking about. That or whoever's talking about that. I know who they're talking about. Is Angel cool from Buffy too? He was
I don't know.
cool enough to get a. Maybe that's what your mom's talking about. Maybe that's more sexy.
Yeah. In which case,
Ooh,
then
the sexy
I think
vampire that doesn't want to do it because he'll lose his soul.
I wouldn't put him in the cool category, but I would put the brothers from Supernatural, the Winchesters.
Fuck yeah,
They're pretty cool.
they are.
Which does
Dean's
bring up.
cool. Sam's not cool. Dean's cool.
I thought Sam was pretty cool, but I mean that brings up like,
Loser.
what about these these guys from Yellowstone that are
I haven't seen that show. Oh,
I've
Raylan
watched a little
Gibbons.
Raylan? Yeah, Raylan's cool.
Actually, wait a minute. Maybe isn't that all based off of a book?
I don't know.
It probably is. That is
That
a
could
cool
be.
character, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Raylan Gibbons. What about Mork? No, Mork's goofy.
Not cool.
Alex P. Keaton.
I don't know if I'd put him as cool.
I would. I loved him.
You loved him, but
Charles in Charge.
Charles was supposed to be cool.
He was.
But
But
I just
now
saw
that
this
you hear
Cosby.
what he did on those sets, you're like, yeah, dude, you're not fucking cool.
Let's not go there.
Yeah. What's the other guy that TV? No, that's sports. Just can't go there. Because there's some cool guys on sports. I think we've hit the end of the road, man. I know there's more.
Yeah.
Shame on you, audience, for not putting in more. Thank you for the people that
Oh
did.
no, they're fine. They're good. We got it good. Thank you to the marshals. But even looking at some of these Google searches, like Hoy Schrute, not cool. Ron Swanson.
Oh, Jim was cool though.
I won't put him cool. Jim was cool.
Jim was cool. Ron Swanson was freaking amazing.
He was great, but I don't know if I'd put him as cool.
Oh, I would. I want all of the steak and eggs you have, all the steak and eggs you have. And he goes, no, wait, hang on. I'm afraid you think I mean just a large portion. I mean all of the steak and the eggs you have.
No, son. I think you maybe assumed that I meant a lot of steak and eggs. What I mean is all the steak and eggs you have.
Do you remember that one part where he went into those trances where he would get with like his ex, Ron Swanson? Yeah. The one time he didn't have any hair here. They asked him, did you shave that? And he goes, nope. Friction. If Ron Swanson could run for president, I would vote for that boy. Have you ever heard his giggle? That's a real laugh.
Oh yeah, that's real.
That's
Otterman? Yeah.
What's his name?
Kevin.
No, it's not Kevin.
Oh God, I just saw his face and I just had it in my head.
Yeah. But he was good. He was going like that. That's just real laugh. That's hilarious. And his ex-wife that plays in that show, his ex-wife, that's really his real wife.
Like, it is. Nick Offerman.
Nick Offerman. That's right. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Who's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah. If I'm running for president, I'm gonna have him do my campaign talks.
Oh, the video. Yeah.
Like
got a good voice.
And this is,
he has actually narrated.
This is approved by
a couple
Ron
books.
Swanson.
He's written a couple books, which then he narrated, but then he's actually narrated some other books as well, which you can get on audibletrial.com/JATG for 30 days for free. Okay.
Oh, that was so fucking smooth, Greg.
Smooth. All right, we got to move on. We've beat this one.
Johnny's new adventure is on the deck next.
Oh my gosh. So what y'all don't know about John is that when he digs in or he finds a new thing, he digs in hard and really obsesses. Like
every girl I've dated can attest to that.
He wants to know anything and everything about that thing.
I will even add. In fact, I'm going to hold on to you after this podcast because I have more questions today.
Yeah. So it was last Monday, I believe. I get a text from John, and John's usually up a little bit earlier than me. So I get it on my phone when I sit down at my desk and start my workday, and it says, I should just look it up. I'd have to go through the numerous texts that we've had since then.
So what I basically said was, hey man, when you get a time, call me. It's about D&D.
Exactly. So if you don't know what D&D is, we're talking Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
Which I have been a gamer since I was 17.
And I haven't made fun of it, but I never understood it.
Right. And I'm
sorry, never understood the appeal. Let me say that.
And I did talk you into a couple RPGs. We did a Marvel-based RPG in college.
Yes.
You came over to Krista's apartment. And
I had Shield solve every problem.
Yep. And he did not like the rules of the game.
Yes.
You're like, what do you mean I can't do that? It's Shield. So to do this one where it's just like, hey, I want to talk about D&D. I was like, okay, well, let's have that talk. And the talk ended up being that you wanted to play. Like you want to get into it. You want to play.
I want to play. I want to see what it's about. And I don't know, honestly. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I do know that I love the lore and the rules, and I love creating the character. I didn't know I'd have that much fun. I have been.
It is a ton of fun.
Damn stupid thing called Hero Forge, and my computer is like, you can hear the fan going, because I am just burning this fucking thing out when I'm trying to just create characters, and I'm trying apes, and I'm putting new swords, and I'm putting shields, and I'm just going nuts with this. And I think I've sent you at least I would say 5 iterations of the character I created.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm just like, that's great. I've got one in there already. We're just going to stick with that one. But it really, I mean, the teacher side of me really comes out like that because we're doing something that I'm not the lore master of D&D. There are people out there that are much more into it than me, but I know enough. So yeah, we got John set up with a character. And I said, for your first character, think of a concept that you like, that you could probably get behind, that you could probably play. And a couple times this past week, I've had to look at John and be like, dude, too much. Like I know what you're trying to do. It's just too much.
It's just too much.
And I'm a little worried.
Thor and Doctor Strange.
You can't. And what I'm worried about is like, what's in your head? At one point you sent me pictures. You're watching, like, you streamed Lord of the Rings like on Friday. You got into like,
you know what's funny though? In fact, with that, it's weird that since that came out on Christmas, when the movies first came out, it came out during the holiday season. It almost feels like a holiday movie for me.
Oh, I certainly agree with that. Absolutely.
So I always tend to, at this time of year, I tend to like,
you feel
watch a Lord of the Rings. Most of the time I fall asleep in between it, but
sure, they're long.
But yeah, but go ahead. So
well, I'm a little worried that you're expecting like this epic Lord of the Rings style adventure, where most D&D groups start. Like they have every intention of having that kind of epic journey of, saving the land, and it just degenerates into Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail. So that's what you got to be prepared for.
Right.
Is that level of silliness that comes out.
Well, I've been reading your journals, and he writes down like conversations you guys have had out loud. Correct. Where I go, okay, this isn't as serious as I'm putting it in my head.
Yes. Yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, very recently in our adventures, we came across, did you get to the wooden donkeys?
No.
Okay. So we are in a underground dwarven city.
You just got Glom where I'm reading.
Okay. Oh, so you're way early.
Yeah. Not too early, man. You did that in like February.
Right.
Okay. I actually have the record.
Yes. So then they came across this room, and it's got like, think of a whiskey barrel with wooden legs and another neck with like a burlap sack that has painted eyes on it. And as soon as our bard got on top of one, it's animated and it works just like a donkey. Like those are the stats for it. And so all of them are like, oh, I want one. I'm like, are you guys seriously? Because I'm running the game. I'm the dungeon master. So I'm like, are you guys seriously trying to keep the 5 wooden donkeys? They're like, oh yeah, I've named mine already. I'm like,
but wait, hang on. Is that the fun part of this?
It is the
something
absolute,
you thought would be something that's a throwaway ends up becoming a mainstay.
So the kind of the cardinal rule of dungeon mastering is you can plan anything to your heart's content and your players will do none of it. I mean, so you've got to really be on the fly and just go where the game takes you. So,
it sounds like you're worried I'm going to go through this little game, which we're going to play soon. We're going to go through a campaign or something like that, or I'm going to join a campaign and I'm going to walk away disappointed.
A little bit.
That's not my fear.
No,
my fear is I'm going to annoy every living soul that is on that thing. And I'm going to, I think it's going to, I have actually anxiety from this because quick little side note, but it transfers back to this. I've been kicked out of 3 separate Bible studies in my life because I keep asking questions that they can't answer. And instead of them, I don't know, they got fed up and they were like, okay, we can't help you anymore here.
Yeah.
You need to go answer. You need to go find somebody else to answer. So what I'm worried about is when I face something and I say, why can't I do that? Well, it's right in front of me and I know this. And according to my background, I can handle this. Why can't I do that? Now I understand the rolling aspect. If I roll and it's considered a miss, hey man, like you threw it, your aim was off. It didn't work.
Right.
But I just feel like there's going to be these things. I just feel like we're going to go back to Whitewater where I'm going,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Why can't I do that?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say,
I think
because you don't
everybody
know
else
how.
is-
Why don't I know how? I
Yeah.
wrote my own history.
Right,
I'd
exactly.
be like, because.
And I think people
You
are
don't
going to
know
be
how.
doing this. Like, please, why did we bring this guy here? Why did we do this?
It's well, because we have, well, Mark and Marshall are seasoned players. So they're going to be good. But then you've got like Tony and Sean, who are some pretty hardcore players and been doing it for a long time. And then I think I land somewhere in between there. But it's going to be fine. But I'm more concerned that you're going to like jump in there as a new player. And really, we've written this kind of level of ignorance into your character,
Right.
where you're going to come through and be like, what ho? Truth shall be my sword and justice shall be my quiver. And someone else is over here making fart jokes. And you're going to be like, what?
I don't think you're taking this seriously, sir.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be like. Do you even know why you're down here? Not anymore. No, we go through the map and we pick up treasure. That's why we're here.
I'm looking for an Eye of Agamotto. Where the hell?
Where is it at? Well, and the other thing, you'd be like, hey, I've been in this adventure and we've been through about 20 levels of the dungeon now. Am I going to find it? No,
No, that's 7 years down the road, sir.
We've got that planned out. What level are you now?
So let me ask you a question. Because it
Yeah.
sounds like to me, as I've been doing my research, because you're right. I think since I've talked to you, every winking free time moment has been diving into something of that. How extensive and how hard is it to be a dungeon master? Because it seems like you have to build a map, you have to come up with an adventure, and at the same time you're coming up with an adventure, which it has to be entertaining. You have to be a good storyteller. You have to be and not only that, you have to be able to, and I'm guessing about all this, you have to roll with the flow of what's going on.
Correct.
And
that's
when you've put all this hard work into it, and then you got a guy who just wants to fuck around.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So you have to kind of be, I guess you have to be kind of a dad playing with 4-year-olds.
A little bit. Sometimes it's like herding cats. And I am totally guilty of throwing the entire adventure off track, like when I first started playing. I'm not going to say it's easy to dungeon master, but at the same time, I don't think it's really that hard.
Okay. It's as hard as you make it.
It can be. And it's really about your attitude going into it. So if like when I first started DMing and doing some different things, we tried a game called 7th Sea. It's a brand new game. It was all based on swashbucklers and stuff like that. And like during character creation, and I'm wanting 3 Musketeers. I'm wanting Dread Pirate Roberts. I'm wanting Zorro. Those are the kind of fights I'm looking for. And I think Mark created a large Russian axe-wielding man. Somebody else created a Braveheart style, like giant claymore sword kind of guy.
So it's not fitting into your vision.
It's not fitting into my vision at all.
Right.
But
it's
at
like
the
doing
same time,
Pirates of the Caribbean and having a robot.
Yes. Well, it's like doing Pirates of the Caribbean with
Conan.
With Conan. And I'm like, this isn't what I'm going for. And even in the game, it said, like, as you're playing, like this one adventure, it's like if they're killing the city guards, that's an issue. Like you need to encourage them not to just kill anybody and everybody. Where in D&D, you're like, oh, you pulled your sword, I'm going to kill you now. Like it's on.
Yeah.
And I remember like getting really mad.
Okay.
Mad
because
it's mostly it's like this isn't working out, and the dice system was very different. It wasn't something we were used to, so you're trying to teach people how to play the game while they're not fitting into your game, and I got upset. And I thought I played through it as best I could, but even my now wife was like, yeah, that you like lost your cool. You could tell you were really frustrated. And I was like, okay, so rule number 1, if nobody's having fun, it doesn't matter how much you've prepared. It doesn't matter what your story is. If nobody's having fun, you're done. Like that.
So how many hours do you actually think you put into a story?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's the other thing. When you're like, when I say it's difficult, but it's easy, I'm not creating a lot of my own story. I'm I buy a Wizards of the Coast adventure,
Okay.
where they have like the maps already laid out. They've got the
Wizards of the Coast is a company that creates these.
they're the current owners of Dungeons and Dragons. They're a subsidiary of Hasbro, and right now Dungeons and Dragons has absolutely dwarfed Hasbro's toy sales. So that's how big it is.
Mhm.
So like in creating the story, like I read through every level of the dungeon. Now I don't read through because the dungeon we're in is actually pretty big. So I'm usually like one or two levels ahead, and usually one level ahead now of where the players are. So if by chance they go, well, let's just go down to the next level, I go, okay. And then we go over to the next level. So I'm not totally in the dark.
Yeah.
But I read through like we're playing on Wednesday night. So probably tomorrow night, and then tomorrow during lunch, I will log into the adventure because it's all done online now. Like you can still meet face to face, which would be great, but we're all living in different towns. It just fits that this is how we game now.
Right.
So I will at lunchtime tomorrow, I'm going to go on to the adventure, look at where we're at and go, okay, they can go west on the map this far. They can go north on the map this far. I don't think they're going to really backtrack to make it up to this part that they missed, unless Marshall's listening now and go, I want to go back to the way we went so we can hit the part that we missed.
Fucking Marshall.
So I'm going to read through all the possible scenarios because there's each room has a description on the map. And then if there's creatures in that room, I got to know what those creatures can do in a fight. So some creatures like, I don't know, goblins, they're
So
like, they got little swords.
You take legit time. It's
legit. It's a little bit. Now, some people would say it's like studying for a final. Like if you want to really know.
Well, I could see how people could seriously take this to the extreme.
They can. And
I think that's how LARPing was born.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And not that we're going to bash LARPers. They're good people.
No. I you know what though? When I think of Dungeons and Dragons, I think
a lot of people do.
I think of that scene in Hawkeye where he's fighting that guy and that guy in the circle's going ting, ting.
Yeah. Those are kind of LARPers. I remember when I first started playing when I was in high school and my mom was really
You've LARPed? Have you LARPed?
I've LARPed twice.
Is it not what you thought it'd be? You're like this.
It's not like that. It's not like with the foam swords and anything like that. I LARPed up in Stevens Point at a gaming convention that they had for Vampire the Masquerade. And it was the story was fine. It was fun for like a one night kind of thing. I wouldn't want to play like that normally.
Well, not for Vampire, right? Like you wouldn't like that's a different like if it was a
Conan, it was a different game.
Like when we had the guys on the not area combat.
The armored combat guys.
Armored combat guys.
Yeah,
that's something I think you'd be really into.
Oh, yeah, I would. Yeah. And to a point, like some LARPing, like that level of skill with combat is needed. But I don't know.
What was that, Marshall? What did he say?
Yeah, he said, "Be careful, Johnny. You might get the pointy end of a rhino."
I've read about that.
His character,
Rhino and bear.
Yep, it's that's fun. So it's kind of like that. I mean, there's a lot of humorous moments in my games. I mean, again, some people take it super seriously. Like you watch Critical Role, which is the biggest.
I couldn't believe that.
D&D podcast.
Yeah, I was looking that up. I didn't know it was a podcast.
So yeah,
when I
so
looked it up, I watched them act it out. I'm like, this is it. This is what's going on right now.
This is what's going on. So, I mean, those are professional voice actors.
Yeah,
and they're now partnered with D&D where they're writing content. I mean, they're creating worlds. A couple of years ago at C2E2, they were the biggest draw of the con.
Wow.
To meet Matt Mercer, the line went wrapped around the con.
Wow.
To get an autograph or get your picture taken with Matt Mercer.
There are people that do fan art of a guy named, I'm sure all of them, but a guy named Caleb Wendigost or Wendigost or something like that. If you type that up, there's all this fan art about him.
Yeah.
But the guy that I think created him or plays him doesn't look like at all like him.
No, and you don't have to. I don't look like my character at all.
Right, no, you definitely don't. Neither do I though. But it's I guess I'm ready to experience it and
so
see what happens.
you're coming in as a complete like D&D virgin. I mean, and
Yes.
and part of what you're experiencing is you're like jumping into the deep end. Like you're trying to go in and like get all of the lore and get all of this stuff.
Yeah.
The reality and the beauty of this game is you can know everything. You can know all this stuff and play the game, but you can know that much and play the game. Like, absolutely. Especially now with the way 5th edition works. I mean, I could literally hand somebody a pre-generated character, which is just something that's been pre-made. They didn't go through the creation process. Say, okay, here, take a little tour of the character sheet and say, this is what it is. This is what you do. And then you start telling the story. And it's very choose your own adventure. It is, okay, here's the situation. You and your group are protecting a caravan of traders, and out in front of you, you see a log that is precariously across the road. What do you do? And then the characters, the players start to say, well, you know, my guy's kind of a woodsy guy. Does it look like the tree was like pushed over? Was it cut? Did it just kind of fall on its own? And okay, well, you go up there and you roll some dice, you make a check, and then you start to have that interaction. And then when the fighting starts, it is, you know, some people are like, okay, I'm going to hit him with my longsword, and they roll the dice.
So time out a second.
Hold on.
So
some people are saying, okay, I'm going to take my longsword and I'm going to do like an overhead arch, and I'm going to do it. Great. Be as descriptive as you want, or if you're not a scripted person, that's fine.
Okay. See, so what worried me right away was you gave that example of there's a tree that fell on the road. And one guy would walk up there and say, well, I have a woodsman background or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm going to check it out. I'd be like, it's a fucking tree. Let's get over it and move on to the road.
And that's fine. That's actually, that would work out. Cause some people just go around the tree. What's the big deal?
Okay. All right. Okay. I didn't know if we're supposed to make it okay. We'll figure it out.
You will. And honestly, our group is great. I mean, they've gamed with all different types of people. So it is what it is. It's gonna be fun.
Are you nervous for me?
No, not for the interaction with the group. I'm a little nervous of like you getting in there and like you said, you're gonna be like, I've spent so many years in magical study, blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, you don't like. I'm gonna have you roll to know something, and you're gonna be like, why don't I know that? You don't know it because you rolled a 5, but I spent all that time in school. You're telling me I don't know that? That's correct. Your character does not remember that right now.
Okay. All right.
And then
it's going to be a lot of hand holding with me.
You're going to be like, bunch of fucking bullshit. You'd be like, yeah, possibly. But
do you know who I am? Do you know what I've built?
Do you know my last name? Yeah, cool. It is what it is. But like I said, we start off as Lord of the Rings. And
you might want to record this, Greg, so you can make fun of me one day.
Maybe. Maybe. Be like, hey guys, remember Johnny's first game? That was fun.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, man. I think that's I think we've allotted our time on the airwaves today.
Probably.
Greg, sign us out, sir.
Oh gosh, it is the Christmas season. Lots of stuff. That's true. So you're gonna be getting together with family, you're gonna be getting together with friends, talking about topics. So know your source, know where you're getting that information from, and get it from multiple sources. You know, fact check yourself. After that, know your audience. Everything. Yeah. Know your what is it? I say know your sources, know your audience, be aware of who you're talking to. When your far left wing uncle and your extreme right wing aunt are getting into it, maybe don't just drop the bomb in the room and walk out. You know, trying to be considerate of who you're talking to. And then as you're going through the Christmas season, please don't be a douche.
Yes. Greg, I think we should sign out with you playing the Death Star. Can you do that or no?
I can't. Ready?
Nope. For the Greg, this is Johnny. Podcast out, everybody. Oh, you can't hear it.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, you can. All right.
You can't?
No, not really. I hear
That's kind of what it does.
Okay. All right. So for Johnny, this is the Greg podcast. Out, everybody. Take care.
See you guys.